Many gun owners across the state are celebrating this decision from a state judge, but people I talked with say they know the fight over this gun control law is far from over and the legal battle could continue for months.
It was great news that we were really pulling on because it was kind of a last hope for us.
That's Brian Mumford, owner of PDX Arsenal, and he's talking about a Harney County judge's decision to permanently block Measure 114.
With Measure 114, from the beginning to the end, it was misleading, it was not organized, there were not the proper communications made to have this work.
The ballot initiative, first passed by voters in 2022, demands stricter gun laws by requiring federal criminal background checks, gun safety training, and banning the sale of magazines that hold more than 10 rounds. While a federal judge ruled the measure constitutional earlier this year, a state judge said it violates the Oregon Constitution. Here's Lewis and Clark professor Tung Yin to explain.
So basically any law, in this case a ballot measure, but still counts as a law, has to, if you want to think of it this way, run through both gauntlets to be valid. If you fail one or the other, then the law is no good.
Circuit Judge Robert Raccio explained in his ruling the measure violates an Oregonian's right to bear arms, particularly the section that would ban high-capacity magazines. Raccio says it would effectively ban all firearm magazines. Mumford agrees, arguing most magazines can be modified, which would make them illegal under the measure.
Now, for those who understand the anatomy of a handgun magazine, those base plates on those are removable to service them, clean them, replace springs. That means that any magazine and all magazines that have a detachable base plate, those would not be allowed, even at the 10-round limit.
As for Lift Every Voice Oregon, proponents of 114, they still believe Oregon voters want to see the measure implemented. Although they weren't available to go on camera, in a statement, Reverend Mark Knutson said voters were clear that these life-saving policies should be the law in Oregon. We know these policies have been upheld by courts in other states, and though we anticipated Judge Raccio would rule the way he did, we have been preparing for the appellate process for some time now. Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum says she plans to appeal at the appellate level, and Governor Tina Kotek voiced her support.
So the fight is not over?
No, and then, of course, whichever side wins or loses at the appellate level can seek review from the Oregon State Supreme Court. But a case like this, high profile, very wide-reaching in terms of its impact on Oregonians, is, there's a good chance the State Supreme Court would weigh in.
So again, this injunction is permanent until an appellate court gets involved. I reached out to the Attorney General's office, and a spokesperson says an appeal will be filed in the next few months.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate that update.